Psych scholars, welcome to Area of Study 2 of Unit 3 for VCE Psychology. This area of study looks at the concept and structure of memory. In this video, we're looking in particular at the function and parts of neurons. Neurons are essentially cells that are used for communication, and they are incredibly important. They also happen to be extremely prevalent. Lilienfeld et al. Suggest that there are roughly 100 billion neurons in the brain. There are several parts to each neuron, as shown here. We specifically need to know four things here: axons, dendrites, synapses, and neurotransmitters. We'll start with axons. Axons, seen at the bottom right of the diagram, send messages away from the cell body. That is, at the axon terminal, electrical impulses are sent outwards from the cell. This means that information can be sent to other parts of the body, or to other neurons. Comparatively, dendrites, seen near the top left of the diagram, are what receives the information from other cells. Having both axons, which push away information, and dendrites, which pull in information, then allows neurons to communicate. Synapses are areas between neurons. It is across this gap that messages are passed from axons to dendrites. It looks a bit like this. The axon of the neuron sending the message, we call this the presynaptic neuron, sends messages across the synapse to the neuron receiving the message, the postsynaptic neuron, via its dendrites. And then we have neurotransmitters, which we can also see on this diagram. Neurotransmitters are chemical substances that travel across the synapse from cell to cell. Some common neurotransmitters include glutamate, dopamine, melatonin, and serotonin. So to recap, we have axons, dendrites, synapses, and neurotransmitters. How might you be tested on this then? You could get a question like this from the 2013 VCAR exam, where your knowledge of the function of a part of the neuron is tested. The question asks, during learning, the dendrites of some nerve cells will A. Release neurotransmitters into the synaptic gap, B. Receive neurotransmitters across the synaptic gap, C. Transmit impulses towards the synapses with other neurons, or D. Integrate and process incoming information from other connecting neurons. Feel free to pause the video here to think about how you would answer this question before continuing. But we know that the answer is not option A. It is axons that release neurotransmitters, not dendrites. For a similar reason, C is not the answer that we want. And that leaves B and D. Option D may look like the more correct response because it is more detailed, but that detail is actually its downfall. An individual neuron simply does not have the capacity for higher order functioning, such as integration and processing. Thus, the correct response is option B. For a recap of any or all of the information from this video, feel free to peruse the information below. Keep working hard and have a psychedelic day.